everybody, Dave Weiss here again with the Glue Bomb Show. Well, I just wanted to take a little bit of time to prove to you that I am really doing what I say. I've told you for a couple weeks now that I am going to do this plane, and I am working on it. I'm putting some work into it. I'm going to give you a little update today. Here it is. This is the plane I'm working on. Again, it's a Lindberg kit. They get a bad rap, but I have to tell you what, for the most part, this has not been a bad kit. This is the TBF Avenger. This is the plane, a replica of the plane, of course, that President George H.W. Bush, Bush 41, flew in World War II. It has his name right here on the underneath the canopy. And, of course, Barbara 3. I'm not sure what happened to Barbara's 1 and 2. I should probably do a little bit of research. But right now, I barely have time to build, let alone research. This thing is 1/48 scale. It has a lot of really nice features to it. It has landing gear that folds up. It has opening and closing canopy, doors on the side that open and close, and I've been taking my time on it. This is one of those kits where you have to glue a few parts and let them sit and dry thoroughly, and if you don't, you're going to pay for it. So, I'll show you what I have done so far. First of all, I need to tell you, I jumped ahead of the instructions and it almost bit me. But here we go. This is what I have so far. You see, I have a fair amount of interior work done. I've got Mr. President right here, and I've got his gunner here. Those are both in place and painted and pretty well detailed, and I'm pretty happy with those. But you'll notice, this is one of the strangest constructions of any plane I've ever built. Now again, I've only built a handful of planes. I don't build many, all right? And I'm having fun with it. But every plane that I've ever built, you take the fuselage, you glue the two halves together, and then you take the wings and you glue them into the sides. As you can see, that's not how this one works. Part of the reason this has landing gear that folds up into the wings is for realism. The other half is because you have got to slide the fuselage over the wing. I've never done that before. Maybe you aircraft builders have done that. I've never done that before, and I have to tell you, I jumped the gun. I was supposed to do a whole bunch of construction on this side fuselage piece before I put it on here, and I messed it up somehow. But it was so tight that by the time I got it on, there was no way I was even thinking about popping it back off, so I worked around the wing. I highly recommend you follow the instructions in cases like this, but overall, it's still going together pretty well. The big question will be, when it's time to put the other half of the fuselage on, if those two made up in the middle, I'll be close to finishing this. I'll just have to paint it, decal it, and do the weathering, because I'm weathering this puppy. I've said I'm going to weather things before, and I've gotten scared. I've gotten cold feet. I paid $7.99 for this kit. It is going to be weathered. Weathered well, I can't say, but it's going to be weathered. It's going to look like it's been through the war. Fortunately, one of the nice things about this is the box art is actually weathered, and they have I think it looks really natural and really real. So I am looking forward to finishing this one. Now, there is no guarantee that I will not have to post another unboxing before this thing is done. Because I got to tell you, this is one where you have to glue a few pieces and let it sit, and glue a few more and let it sit. And I have no doubt that there are going to be seams that I'm going to have to putty and sand, and then I'm going to have to figure out how to mask around all this stuff that I've already done, which is not going to be easy. Remember, I'm a car guy. I don't usually have to do this. Usually I build the whole chassis, put the whole thing together, and then at the very end, I slap the body on top, and it looks like gold. This is a little more complicated. I am having fun, and that's a good thing, because model building is supposed to be fun. Now, I know that sounds like a catchphrase, and it is probably my catchphrase, and I do it a lot, and I do it a lot on purpose, and here's why. There have been times over the course of my modeling where I have been really stressed out. How about you? And I have to remind myself, this is my hobby. This is what I do for fun. See, my whole life, I'm a minister. In case you haven't seen that, I'm a minister. Part of the reason this is taking so long is because I know you're seeing this in July or August, but I'm filming it right around Easter. This is my really busy time. Plus, I'm preparing for a couple summer camps and some other things like that. This is a busy time. So I don't have as much time to build as I'd like. But the last thing I want to do is let this become a stressor for me. Right? This is not a stressor for me. I do a lot of creative work. I do a lot of art. I do a lot of writing. I do a lot of things to try and make my services and my messages and everything else as interesting as I possibly can. I do a lot of creative work. And sometimes I get blocked. And sometimes I just can't do any more for the day. And that's when I hit the table and glue some pieces on. Or paint some pieces or something like that. Because it's still creative. It's creative work. Don't get me wrong. But there are instructions. There are things I don't have to figure out. I can just do what the instructions say. This is something that I do when I'm not able to create the way I would like to, because sometimes I get blocked. This can't become a stressor. If this becomes a stressor, it's no longer worth doing. Model building is supposed to be fun. I think I'm saying this for somebody who's watching this today. Model building is supposed to be fun. If you're starting to take it too seriously, I want you to think back to when you were 7 years old or 8 years old or whenever it was that you started. And you got this thing and you couldn't wait to get it home and you ripped it open and you had glue everywhere. That's why I call this the Glue Bomb Show. Because you know what? Back then, your work was messy and it didn't look that great, but it was fun. That's what this is supposed to be. So keep building, but keep making sure that it's fun, because that's what it's supposed to be. I just heard a podcaster today say, you got to keep in mind what we're doing here. We're building plastic toys. And that's what we're doing. It's supposed to be fun. So keep it fun. Enjoy yourself. Have a great day. God bless.